All right, it's January 5th, 2022. I'm going to try to summarize how bad the situation is with these vaccines because not everybody's getting it, that it's already too late for 1.5 billion people around the world. They're going to die. Another 1.5 billion people or so, actually a little bit over, are going to suffer debilitating injuries from the vaccines over the next several years, and they may not be able to participate in a meaningful way in society. In other words, they likely won't be able to work. They're going to need to be taken care of. They're going to be, invalids in many, many cases, heart damage, neurological damage, autoimmune damage. Then there's another 1/3, roughly speaking, that are going to survive this, another 1.5 billion people who took the vaccine but won't be killed or harmed by it. And those 1/3 will have to take care of the other 1/3 who are, injured and deal with the deaths of the first 1/3 who are dead. And then there are the unvaccinated. And the unvaccinated are the ones upon whom the world depends. The unvaccinated are going to have to rebuild society. The unvaccinated are going to have to learn how to run the nuclear power plants and make sure they don't go into meltdowns. The unvaccinated are going to have to procreate and have children and create a sustainable human race for this planet. The number of unvaccinated is shrinking by 30 million per day. Understand? 30 million people per day are being vaccinated. And you can confirm that. That's at ourworldindata.org. 30 million per day. So right now, 53% of the world's population has been vaccinated. And again, it's increasing by 30 million per day. Do you see where this is going if we don't stop these vaccines very, very quickly? So in essence, given that about 1/3 of the vaccinated are going to die over the next few years, and that might be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I don't know, or just spread out over all those years. But about 1/3 are going to be dead, and that's a very conservative estimate. It could be much higher. But what it means is that right now, every day, 10 million people are being sentenced to death. 10 million people, because that's 1/3 of the 30 million who are being injected daily. So each day that goes by, 10 million people are being essentially killed over time. In other words, they're being injected and that can't be reversed and they will die. So to compare this to the Holocaust of World War II, in that Holocaust, of course, according to history, 6 million Jews were murdered by the Third Reich. Well, right now with the vaccine, they are carrying out a Nazi-level Holocaust every 14.4 hours. 6 million people are being sentenced to death every 14.4 hours. And it goes on every day. So I get it that this is hard to grasp. It's hard to realize that we are already too late for 1.5 billion people who are going to die. And that if we don't stop this in the next year, there are going to be an additional 3.5 billion people who will be killed. So, that's 10 million people a day times 365 days. That's 3.5 billion people. And if you combine that with the numbers we already have, the 1.5 billion roughly, who have been condemned to die with these lethal injections, we're talking over 5 billion people who will be slaughtered on the planet. That's if the vaccines continue. And that's over half the population dead. And I know some people have been asking, well, how can they kill over 1/3 of the people if only 1/3 of the shots are fatal? And the answer is that multiple booster shots. So they're hitting people with multiple shots, obviously. That's a big part of, the total kill shot plan. That's what's happening. So So understand where we are right now in world history. Understand
Uai, seu app de vídeos curtos.